They can't scare you anymore. Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. It's always great to have you guys. Today we are reading on the huge, and I mean huge, full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. It's happening at 23 degrees. It will be occurring on March 13th through 14th, depending on what your time zone is. Now, the reason why it's big, the reason why it's huge, in big, bold lights, as big as the Hollywood sign, is because we have the Virgo South Node as well. So first off, what you want to do is think about, where do you have Virgo in your chart? If you don't have Virgo sun, moon, or rising, you're going to look into your houses. Everybody has Virgo somewhere. So you're going to look at 23 degrees of Virgo in your birth chart, and you can get your birth chart on like any birth chart website pretty much, right? And just take a look at what house that's in, right? Like say it's in the 4th house, or say it's in the 5th house. This could be affecting the way that you have fun, you know, what your hobbies are, how you look at like flings even, or all the fun 5th house stuff, right, in your life. And with the South Node in Virgo, what this could mean is like you're letting go possibly even of more like immature times in your life, or sorts of people you would hook up with, or say it's in the 7th house and it's a little bit more serious. Like maybe you're not going to date the same sort of people again. Maybe you're going to go for like a higher caliber of person. Like maybe you dated somebody that was a Page of Wands or a Knight of Wands, and you're like, okay, I want to date an Emperor this time. Just as an example, Wheel of Fortune. It's karmic stuff too when it comes to releasing, right? I heard an astrologer say, and it stuck with me. It was very interesting. She said that the lunar eclipse is like a full moon on steroids. So that's what we have going on here. So we're going to look at it. But they can't scare you anymore. Why is that? Because instead of holding on to that devil, that person, that substance, even an aspect of your own self, by choosing to let it go instead of hold on to it, they can't get to you anymore. So let's look and see what we see on the other side of this eclipse. Now, of course, we need to take advantage of it, right? I would argue that things just release when they release anyways, but if you tap into it and make a conscious effort to understand, like, how is this affecting me? But that's why I do this as a collective reading, because we're reading on the themes of like what could be affecting us all and how we come together in the middle. But if you want more of an in-depth look at your personal life, look at your own chart to see that. We're going to get 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, and outcome, our 4th magic card. We have the Judgment card at the bottom of the deck here. So they can't scare you anymore. It's because you made a judgment call, right? Now, they could be you, yourself. You know, Virgo in the shadow can be perfectionism, self-judgment, criticism, and control in some senses. Like, I'll say this, for example, for me, like when I'm trying to lose weight, and trigger warning, I have had issues in the past with eating disorders. But what can happen is I can become too extreme with it, which is like a form of control. It's a different sort of control than like Saturn, Capricorn is, even though we're both Earth. I feel like the Virgo type of control is more like, I'm going to weigh out 7 grams of ketchup on my scale in the kitchen. It's like negligible calories, but it can become that pinpoint. And that's when the shadow of Virgo can become obsessive, can become too critical, it's like too close in, man. And you can start to get like neurotic or even like psychosis, because imagine if you take a microscope and you look at the tiniest particles within your skin, for example. You're going to see stuff crawling all over it. You're going to start doing research about, this is just an example of like what Virgo can be in the shadow and what we should be letting go of and what we should be embracing, which is the Pisces South Node in short. To become more dreamy, to become less zoomed in and more about like the possibilities of life rather than all the reasons why we can't do something or we can't have something or we're not good enough, it's not perfect enough. Judgment of ourselves, which then subconsciously we begin to judge other people because we do it to ourselves. So even if we want to say, I'm not judgmental, if you hate yourself, like you can't love somebody if you don't love yourself, because you can only meet people at the place you've met yourself. So if we can let go of some of these shadow aspects of Virgo, they're not going to be able to scare us anymore. And this could even be like negative self-talk. Like that devil could be self-talk. It's this judgment call of being like, radical acceptance is key, right? And I have multiple Virgo placements. I have a Virgo sun, rising, and Mars. So there's a lot going on here with Virgo in my chart. And so I've had to work on this stuff for years. But even if you don't have prominent placements of Virgo, it's okay. Because we all struggle with these aspects. We all struggle with self-criticism and in some more extreme cases. I'm just going to pop a trigger warning, bring out TW really quick on this episode just because of the themes that are coming up here. Honk honk, which I feel like sometimes people don't think about the dark side of Virgo. You know, people make jokes like Virgos are judgmental or they're perfectionists, or, you know, people say these things about Virgos, which, you know, of course, that's not the summation of who Virgos are, right? But we struggle with those things. We're very hard on ourselves. And everybody understands that to a degree, even if you are not Virgo prominent at all. So what I'm foreseeing in this letting go for this lunar eclipse in Virgo happening on the 13th and 14th of March, 2:55 a.m. EST for those of you who are in my same time zone. See, some of this stuff was like self-protection as well. Because look at the bottom of the deck. It's like we're having a revelation at this time where all of this stuff is being released, whether we want it to be or not. That's just like part of it. For some of us, I am seeing it's like, I'm literally seeing it's like releasing like F-boys, right? Or people that are immature. This is like her younger brother. This is not a partner. This is not equal. Remember, we had the Emperor at first, and you don't have to be a woman and a man and stuff. It's just, it could be any way. It's the discrepancy of like, wait, why am I feel like it's an overcorrection. Okay. I feel like this is what happens. We are so hard on ourselves, right? So then, as empaths, as a lot of us are, Queen of Cups, it's the difference between the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups, right? It's like, we're so hard on ourselves, a lot of us, that we want to counteract that by being too over forgiving of other people's actions, too releasing of things that are actually red flags that we should be paying attention to. You know, that person left you out on purpose, or, you know, that person, like if it's a family member or a friend or whatever, it's like they make you feel inferior to them. Like they make a big stink about, oh, I'm going to pay the bill because you can't, like at dinner time. It's like we overcompensate because we don't want to be judgy. And this is not just for Virgos. This is just this is the reading that I'm getting. I'm getting like this is part of like the judgment call, that we're understanding these Virgo themes, even just in culture, right? I mean, how picky. Sometimes when I'm on TikTok, I'm just like, I gotta get out of here, because the comments are just so negative, and they're specifically negative. They are zoomed in to the molecule of molecules, looking at somebody, their body, what they're saying. Just, it's too much. It's because we have too much time on our hands. So that's part of what's going on here too, is that Virgo in the light is very good at organization, routines, getting things in order, where it's like, why do we have so much goddamn time on our hands to be zooming in on Selena Gomez? It's like, calm down. Just leave Britney alone, okay? It's like, oh my God. And that's when it does become manipulative, and that becomes the shadow of these themes, because it's a projection on other people of being so overly scrutinizing, to the point where it's sickening, it's nauseating to the universe, is what I'm getting in this reading coming through. Now, back to what I was saying about the overcompensation. We might go to the other extreme side of that, where we're like, we want to just be like so the opposite of that we just accept everybody and everything and just let it all go because we actually don't want to deal with it. Or we actually just are feeling like we can't connect with people because they are not in our... They're like not on our level. Why is that though? That's the stuff that we need to examine. It's not just like, why am I around all these people? Like, where's my emperor? The emperor came out right at the start. It's like we're in the wrong groups. We're around the wrong people. Why? Well, then we start digging deeper. Oh, it's because I don't feel good enough to be around that caliber of person. They have more money than me. They're more well-spoken. They dress better. They have better careers. They make me feel intimidated and like I'm not good enough, and I don't want to look at that. It's like that's part of the process. If we will allow that kind of moon energy to slither in there into the depths of our wounds, right? All the times we were left out, all the times we felt like we weren't good enough. And hey, maybe we weren't. It's okay to admit defeat, right? It's okay to be like, okay, actually, I'm like, hold on. Couple examples here. Where did I put my Queen of Wands? See, it's like she won't even show up. It's the Queen of Swords that wants to come out. Because the Queen of Swords can be very critical. Looking in the mirror, looking at her flaws, her wrinkles, and she could be like gorgeous, right? Look at that gorgeous nose there. Look at that Italian nose. Look at that thing. Let's give a round of applause for that thing, everybody. See, it's a perfect example. But my smile's real, right? So it's like, would you rather be zooming in on like every freaking thing on your face, or would you rather have smile lines because you lived, because you loved, because you laughed, because you had a good time? Because maybe you ate a little too many cookies, but you're Italian and you like to bake and just l'chaim. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I'm mixing everybody together in the same goddamn room, because that's what part of this is as well. Is that sometimes we can become separate from energies that challenge us as well. See, people don't like Virgo because it's kind of like an Isis energy, and Isis, this is an example for me of what the high level of Virgo is. It's like going to stand in front of Isis and she's looking you up and down, not just how you look, but who you are as a person. And you're standing before this goddess of like all her wisdom. And it's not that she is judging you like you're not good enough. She's not a negative Queen of Swords, but she's scrutinizing. She can pick up things in you that would improve you. Why don't we look at a coach as negative? Maybe you'll get angry at your coach. Every morning you have to come to the field at 5:45 a.m. It sucks, but every single morning we show up at 5:45 with our coffee, shivering out there in our shorts, and we run the track. That's not looked at as a bad thing because we want to be there. We want to be on the track team. We want a coach, right? But I find that people don't trust Virgo because they're scared they're going to be judged. Because the shadow of Virgo is self-judgment. So if you need to go to the high level energy of a Virgo, which to me is my superiors, the ones that I take notes from, because you can trust their criticisms. They're making you better. They're challenging you. And that's why people are afraid of Virgo energy, because they think that they're just going to be critical and judgmental and expect you to be perfect, when that's not true Virgo energy. That's the shadow. So we're releasing a lot of that stuff. Again, even if you're not a Virgo and all that. This is just Virgo energy that just permeates through the air as you're breathing in this full moon eclipse, where it's like you're just in it. You're in this soup of like, you could even start to feel like, why do I feel this way? Why do I suddenly feel like I'm questioning like who I am as a person and stuff? It's because of the South Node. Right? It's because we have that South Node in Virgo, and the South Node is like, that's even like past life stuff that you're releasing. I mean, we had that Emperor at the start. Remember how I was saying with the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom, how it can be karmic and stuff. You could have like married somebody that was like this to you. This is like a kid and a mom. And it doesn't have to be a woman and a man. I'm saying you could have tried to overcorrect, is what I'm trying to say, by being extra loving, extra this, extra that, because you don't want to come off as, oh, you're a bitch, you nag me, you this, you that, all you want is this, and all you want is that, you have too high standards. It's like, well, see, this is the hard truth. Maybe you do for this person. Maybe it's actually kind of unfair to expect this sort of a person to be able to meet that sort of a standard. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying it's like, this is like somebody who wants to go out tonight and drink a bunch of beers. And I'm not saying that we can't do that and have fun. I'm not saying that. It's just, but it's a Wednesday night. And we have to get up tomorrow at 5:45 to get to the track. You're gonna be done, dude. Oh, no, I'm good. I'll show up. Okay, maybe when you're like 17. But what about when you're married to this person and they're 48 years old and they're still doing that? And you have all I'm surprised the 10 of Wands isn't here. You have all that responsibility on your shoulders because you didn't want to be called a bitch. Because you didn't want to be said, oh, you're such a nag, or all you do is this, and all you do is that, and oh, I'm just going to go cheat on you because I can find it somewhere else at that somebody that won't nag me. Just an example. Like, this coming through as relationships, like, that's just a practical world example of how this can show up. And it could be past life stuff too with the South Node. So, okay, I hope that like makes sense, because, oh, and one more thing on this, and then I'll open the cards, because this is like the example that I'm getting. This is the judgment on us, right? Where'd my judgment card go? This is the judgment on us during this eclipse, is that maybe we pick people or pick situations that are beneath us, not only because we don't want to be judged for people to think that we think that we're better than them, right? Because Queen of Swords, she does know what she's talking about, regardless. So it's like you don't have to act like you know what you're talking about all the time, but if you know, you know, and we should understand that about ourselves. So that's the positive of this. Letting go of these old things that held us back in our minds. Like maybe in the past you felt like you weren't good enough because you were surrounded by people that made you feel that way. For knowing something, for actually being good at something. And now that you've grown and worked through things, it's like seeing yourself in the mirror for the first time. Sometimes I see this as a mirror because it's like a shiny sword and you can see your reflection in this Excalibur sword. It's like you're being knighted with the new version of yourself. And it's because you're releasing all this stuff. I'm seeing like a really muddy dog. It's so cute. It's like a golden retriever and I love those. Like a golden retriever was just out in the mud, like out in the rain, totally like just so cute. I love dogs, but anyways. And you're just like hosing and washing and bathing the dog off and then like drying the dog off, and it's beautiful. I'm not saying you're a dog. I just love dogs, so I think I just think of those examples. But it's like that. It's not that you weren't ever intelligent or that you weren't ever actually up to your own standard, that you weren't trying to make anybody else feel like they weren't good enough. People might have tried to do that to you because you put up a mirror to them and made them feel stupid or below you or beneath you. Even if you came in the Queen of Cups, it doesn't matter. People are still going to be jealous. They're still going to feel like you're mirroring to them everything that they're not, and then being like, you think you're better than me, even if you don't. So you could have, this is just an example, but you could have like created a complex in your mind, like, okay, I'm going to make sure I don't show anybody that I'm smart. I'm going to make sure that I don't show anybody that I wake up every morning and go to the track at 5:45 a.m. I'm going to make sure I don't show people how much money I have or maybe even how attractive I could be, because people then think I'm like a vain bitch, or they think that I'm a way that I'm actually not, when I'm actually a Queen of Cups. But because I dress up or whatever, people think I'm a bitch, but I'm not, and I'm not mean, and it's all this Virgo stuff. See how I'm like going like that? It's that Mercury Virgo in the brain, overthinking to the point where it becomes so paralyzing that you can't even do anything you want to do. You don't even know who you are anymore. And people are mistreating you because they think that you think that you're better than them. So then all of your ideas kind of just wither away because you're like, why try? Right? So it's like a vicious cycle. I feel like I was going to say one more thing. Oh, this is the last thing I was going to say. I wish I didn't put the Emperor back. But with this moon, we can understand something about ourselves. It's the judgment call. It's the revelation. That it's actually up to us to graduate from being around people like this. If you're a Queen of Wands or a King of Wands with a Page of Wands or whatever, it's unequal. Or, a Queen of Wands with a Page of Swords, it's not equal. And we could be facing parts of our shadow where we actually are finally looking in the mirror and being like, you know what? I actually feel like I'm not good enough for an emperor when I actually think about it. Right? It's like, and it doesn't have to be an emperor. It could be an empress or whoever you're interested in, right? It's just somebody that is actually on your level, but you're too intimidated to join a group. Like years ago, I was part of the stock group. And at first I was like, it was like imposter syndrome. But then after like 3 years of studying stocks and actually knowing what I was doing, that finally went away. But you have people who come in there blasting with the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? They learn a bunch of stuff. They watch like 5 YouTube videos about the stock market and how it works. And then they start trading like they start day trading these penny stocks. They put, $800 in that thing because it looks like it's going up. They go and eat their sandwich. They come back to the computer and the entire thing is in the shitter and they've lost all their money. And they're like, what the hell happened? I thought I knew everything that I was talking about. But in reality, they knew nothing. Right? But what I was going to say here is that you might fear that you might... It's easier to stay here, where you're teaching this person about stocks and nobody can question you. Because this is the idiot that spent 3 days looking at YouTube videos and then put $700 in a penny stock that rose and fell quicker than their dick did when you tried to have a moment. Right? It's easier to stay around people like this that you feel that you're actually above them, and that's the shadow of Virgo. I feel like it's the shadow of Capricorn as well. Let me know, Caps, but it could just be an earth sign thing. Where we're like, we can mother them, we can take care of them financially, so why don't we just do it all? That seems like the good idea to do. But then you rob yourself of a happy life. Right? So Virgos do all this crazy inner mechanics, and you wouldn't know this because Virgos keep this in their head, and we all have Virgo. We all do this in some way, shape, or form, where you lay up in the middle of the night, We are facing that we're actually intimidated by being around people that mirror back to us an appropriate mirror where they're mirroring you an emperor to your empress, or, either way. Because we do have 3 queens here. Who are we missing? Ironically, we're missing the Queen of Pentacles, but we have the King of Pentacles. So, I don't know what that could mean exactly. Maybe it's saying, like, leave a little space for someone to come in to that part of you that you, like, if you want somebody that's gonna, like, maybe take care of you so that you don't have to do everything. Like, maybe you want somebody that, but we have to make room for that. And that's part of what this eclipse is about, is we can say we want something, but then if we're so used to doing everything all the time, like we're taking care of a kid in our past relationships, and this doesn't even have to be romantic, guys. This can be anything. This could be family. This could be at work. You do all the work. And everybody's just like, oh, Virgo will do it. Virgo, we all have Virgo. Like, say if you have Virgo in the 10th house, like that could be, like if you have a midheaven in Virgo, if you have... Regardless, it depends where this shows up for you, right? But we all have that moment of just like wanting to go in our shells because we either feel like people think that we think we're better than them. So we overcompensate to dim ourselves down so that people don't think ill of us. So we overcompensate and we link up with people that, and then we're shocked that they like hurt our feelings, right? Or it's that we are ready to rise to the occasion and start mingling with people that are either above us, above loosely, you know what I'm saying? Above us, that know more than us, that we can actually look up to and learn from and stuff, or are just at least at our level. It starts to make us feel intimidated, 5 of Pentacles, and it starts to highlight. It's like taking a highlighter and looking through all your flaws, but it's not to do that to make you feel worse about yourself. It's to do that so that we can be honest with ourselves. We can look in the mirror and actually solve the issue instead of just pushing it under the rug and then crying and being like, why don't I have anything real in my life? Virgo is really good at seeing like what's real and what's bullshit. They're good at discerning with the Queen of Swords. Gemini is good at this as well, of course. Right? It's that Mercury energy where it's good at like parsing through. Virgo's good at like doing the in the weeds work. So this is an intimidating energy to have coursing out from your system like you just did a freaking colon cleanse, because that's what it's going to be like. And it's all the little crevices of your soul that you've been trying to hide. It's like there's your little drawer with like all your candies in it when you're supposed to be on a diet. It's like Virgo's like, what's in there? Of course, it's not literally that. Well, it could be literally that with Virgo. It's not to be over criticizing and zooming in on your flaws, to be like, you have flaws. It's so that we can be honest with ourselves. If you keep dating this and you're like, why do they keep doing all this to me? Well, it's because of this. And we have to just be honest with ourselves and look at that, and also look at our patterns, because this full moon, it's a lunar eclipse and it's tied to the south node. It's a big energy, so it could be bringing up stuff for you that you even thought you moved past. Like you might be falling into old habits that we started off with the devil. Or you might have realized, oh my God, I went back to an ex, or I dated somebody like my ex. I wanted to meet, a handsome guy at the finance convention that, whatever, that'll make me pancakes on a Saturday morning, that I don't have to worry is going to go out and fuck somebody else when I have one bad day because they hold me up to such a level of perfection that I could never obtain. You're subconsciously attracting people that are going to treat you the way that you treat yourself. Virgo is self-criticism in the shadow. We all have self-criticism, right? So you could be attracting somebody, maybe it's not perfectionism for you, but you could be attracting somebody that like expects you to do something that is like a wound for you. And they're every single time they're an alcoholic, and you're like, I don't want to date any more alcoholics, and every time they're an alcoholic. And it's like on the first date, you're like, oh, they've ordered a second drink. They ordered a third drink. Maybe they're an alcoholic again. And you're like, yo, just don't do all that. You're going to ruin the date. They're going to think you're a nag. Anyways, and then the cycle continues, right? Virgo just wants to know the truth. So that's why it's good to go in front of the mirror and look at yourself with the cold hard facts of reality, as well as to prostrate yourself before somebody like Isis, for example, a goddess, a higher energy that you can trust to tell you the truth on how to fix the problems. Like, what do I need to do to be happy? Like, what even are the things I need to let go of, like, or not let go of? Like, maybe I actually need to give myself some credit once in a while. Like, maybe I need to let go of the control and let go of the reins and see what happens. And then when I see that the entire relationship falls apart, the house goes to shit, none of the bills are paid, maybe I should date somebody else where it's not all on my shoulders. Or like, maybe it's okay for me not to be like 50 pounds thinner. Like, maybe I'm just beautiful as I am. Like, maybe it's more about, let's focus on 6 house themes. Let's focus on our health instead of just on our freaking looks. Just some examples. Maybe instead of being so freaking hard on myself that my projects aren't doing better, I'm not making more money, the numbers aren't good, I wish I had more views, because a lot of you guys are content creators too, or why is this not happening quick enough? Instead of all that, if we can just be like, oh my God, look how freaking far I have come in the past 9 years, the past 18 years, because that's when the last eclipses were. Think about the last 9 years, the last 18 years. Where were you then? Those themes could be coming up for you now. And with the Nine of Swords and the Three of Swords, they can be challenging. And Virgo really zooms in. So that's why it feels, or it will feel, intense. But if we can just sit through it's kind of like putting your body in a full body scan. If you can just sit through it and just get the facts on paper, it's like a medical doctor. They're showing you a scan of your body, what we got going on, to prevent diseases and things like that. I saw a girl get that procedure done where she like went in for a full body scan to see if there's like anything that you need to worry about or whatever. It's like, yeah, that is a very like nerve-wracking experience, but if we can just face the music, if we can sit through the procedure of this Virgo energy, they're not judging you. They're just, it's like a doctor just giving you a rundown of the information. It's not a moral or an emotional, it's an analytical with Virgo. It's a grounded, we care about you. We want your health to be looking amazing. We want your routines to run smoothly so that you get everything done and that you're not overwhelmed. You know, we want you to be in the best condition you can be in so that you have a good, happy life and everything is in good health. That's why a lot of Virgos are in like the healthcare system, or they're in like, they help to care for people. Like I was a CNA for many years. Before that, I always took care of kids. I was a nanny many times, right? So, all right, anyways, that's just some of the stuff. Even without cards, that's just the energy. So I just wanted to explain some ways you could be feeling, even if you're not a Virgo and you don't have big Virgo placements, you could just feel these themes floating around in the air. And to not turn away from it. Don't be scared. Like, face the music, face the judgment, face the jury. It's like if you're standing in front of an entire jury of people and they're actually there to help you, not to judge you, like, wow, you're fat, or wow, you need to make more money, or you need to be better in bed, or like, it's not stuff like that. It's more like, think of it more surgically, like, this is for the betterment of your health, for the betterment of the planet, for the betterment of all of us to work together. Card number 1, we have the sun. See, it's for your happiness overall. So this full moon lunar eclipse, it will help you to release the things that are blocking your happiness, that are blocking you from feeling. I'm hearing more jubilant, like jubilation. It's like it's so overjoyed with happiness that the time just flies. It's like you're a kid again. It's to help you get rid of these judgments, these things that make you not inspired, like the things that make us too uptight, too perfectionistic, too self-judgy, caring what people think of us, when we should just take off our freaking shirt and go and jump into the pool with a freaking belly flop. Who cares if you gain 40 pounds? Have a good summer. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's something like that. It's like, it's going into more of that Pisces North Node. Like, just live in the moment. Like, have fun. Things don't have to be perfect. In fact, who the hell wants that? I'm the sort of person, and I'm a Virgo, I'm the sort of person that really likes to listen to like acoustic versions of songs. Like, I like the stripped down, I like the unplugged, I like the raw aspect of things, because that's what makes you, it makes you real, right? Like, who wants a bunch of fake crap in this planet? We have enough of it. And I feel like people don't necessarily think of Virgo as that, but that I have a lot of Virgo, and that's how I am, at least. And I've known a lot of Virgos that have this same kind of no bullshit sort of thing, where it's like, we do that because we just want people to be real, authentic, happy. Like, you don't have to do all that mess. You don't have to feel bad about yourself. Jump in the pool. Who cares if you have rolls? Live your freaking life. not saying we should be unhealthy, because we can balance it out with Virgo with health, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, live, be happy, clean out the clutter. I mean, maybe even literally from your home, so you feel like you have more space to move, and just living your life so it runs smoothly like a well-oiled machine. That's why Virgos are obsessed with routines, so that things just go, they flow, they work, everybody's happy, nobody's arguing, It's just, everybody gets a turn on the PlayStation, everybody gets a turn in the front seat in the car. It's like everybody at work gets a turn, gets to try for the promotion. It's fair. Libra's the sign right after Virgo, right? Okay, card number 2, we have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah. See, it's to make everything balanced and fair. We can't be happy until we get the homework done, until we get the housework done, we get the chores done. We can't feel balanced until we clean the shit out of here. It's a wreck. There's freaking banana peels rotting in the kitchen, in the trash. That's why it smells in here. We need to clean out the garage. There's actually an old mouse that passed away 3 months ago, stuck up in your car if you open up the hood, because we didn't the car's just been sitting there on the lot, and then things went up in there. It's sometimes it's that literal that makes the world go round, right? Virgo is here to help us run. America runs on Dunkin'. No, I don't. I know I'm from New England, but I don't drink Dunkin' anymore, but it's too sweet, or I just open up to the double. It doesn't have enough robustness to the coffee. It's too watery. See, there's an opportunity here to just look at, imagine if you had the opportunity to go under a microscope. It's actually, when it's done by an entity that's higher than you and trustworthy, say it's a doctor, for example. I'm just going to keep using that example. If you're afraid about your health, or if you're pregnant and you need to understand what's going on with your body, you go to somebody you trust that can tell you that, and you submit to that. You're happy for that. You're not oh, they're judging me because of this and that. You're going to the doctor for help. That's what a good Virgo energy does. They're not just telling you shit that you don't want to hear. You're coming to them for help, right? That's good Virgo energy. It's not just being judgy when nobody asked. You know what I'm saying? And I've been really noticing of that throughout my life. Speaking of Virgo, because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings either if they weren't freaking asking for that. So that's not what this is. It's to help you because you're looking for that. So the big sweep is going to come through, and it's going to clean out old stagnant energy from the planet in general. But I feel it's literally getting a free full body scan exam. You're being offered the opportunity, actually, Ace of Pentacles, to go through this full body scanner, which is this Virgo energy, to see, wow, is there anything that we can work on healing? Is there any things that have been super confusing and we still just haven't found the answers to, that we can go stoic with it? Thank God. It's something we don't understand. It's something we can't control. So let's just let it go. That's stoicism in a nutshell. It's you... And Virgo can be very analytical, right? So it's for all the times that we overthink, and all the times that we feel we need to control the planet and control politics and control things, we can't control it. Accept the things we cannot change, right? We need to accept that. Even stuff from our past, old relationships that maybe meant a lot to you, but it's if you're at a stalemate with something, Virgo is going to be hey, let's look at that. Why do you feel that way? Let's see what you're feeling. Any confusion you have, let's just look at it straight in the face. When you're going through that full body scanner, it's to show you the truth about who you really are, and it's for your benefit, right? It's so that you can balance out your life. So it's an opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles. I'll leave those out. I feel like these help summarize what we've been speaking on here. It's like an opportunity to go in for this full body scan, so to speak, where, you know, this could cost thousands and thousands of dollars, but we're going in to see what we need to see. Card number 3 is the Knight of Wands. See, you could start to get your spark back again and get excited again because you have the space to. Like with the Six of Pentacles, this is like balancing things out, moving around priorities. Like, am I giving too much time to this and too little time to this? Like, am I giving all of my happiness and all of my light away? Like, who am I giving to? What am I giving to? Am I caring about myself enough? Like, even how much attention am I giving something that it grows out of control with the devil? Like, we don't want to be self-criticism and self-judgmental. Even the Apostle Paul, I mean, think about it. He was a Pharisee. They were the most judgmental you could possibly be. They went by the letter of the law, of the old Jewish law. And that's where he came from. And even Paul said, I don't even judge myself. And even though, you know, me and the Bible have been fighting for many years, but I will say it's an interesting example. It's like somebody that would be the most critical and the most judgmental was like, I don't even judge myself. So I feel like that's wisdom, is that we're not even taking it upon ourselves to judge our own selves. We're asking that this energy can read us and show us the results, because we trust that it's going to give us the truth so we can actually begin to work on these things so that our life is balanced and it runs smoothly. It's like fire that just burns through your soul again because you actually have released all the stuff that kept you like just slogged down. It's about being inspired again because you were able to see the truth. When you're living in a lie, or you see that there's a lie at play, possibly, but you choose not to look at it, well, we of course have the choice to stay in that, our own self-deception, if we wish. Of course, that's our free will. But this run through that we're doing here, it's just going to show the truth about situations and ourselves, which in turn, if we choose to release this stuff, we will feel a lot more energized. We'll feel like, hey, I'm going to go to the beach, man. I don't care that I gained 40 pounds. I'm going to go in that ocean and I'm going to commune with the freaking water spirits, dude. And I'm going to like receive enlightenment. Like, who cares if I have a freaking beer belly? I'm jumping in the goddamn ocean. It's like that. Oh, man. Card number 4, our outcome is the Three of Pentacles. See, this is like working together. Working together. Like, help me, help you. That's like the universe. They're like, okay, we have this transit going on. We have this eclipse. We got all this stuff going on in the sky as well that I'm not talking about today. I'm focusing on the moon, but there's a lot going on astrologically. Let us know down in the comments, because I know I have astrologers in the house. Let me know what you're seeing as well, because, yeah, it's good for us to work together when we don't know what the hell to do or how to help ourselves, right? But this is what this is. It's like working together with the stars, literally, but also we have like the star and the sun, which to me can be looking up to somebody that, I mean, maybe they're famous, like maybe they're just well known, like in a certain sphere, like Saturn can be like career and stuff like that. Like maybe you're literally watching like astrologers, or you're listening to podcasts of, where's my Queen of Swords, like people that know what they're saying basically, and you're learning from them, and maybe you're studying psychology, or maybe you're trying to like get into working out, or like maybe you're trying to learn how to paint from somebody that knows more than you, or reading books from people that can help you understand these things about yourself. Like, we don't have to do it alone. We don't have to just like sit in the bathroom and look in the freaking mirror and be like, what is everything wrong about me? Let me zoom in on that. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm saying, we can, if we start to realize, like, okay, maybe I have like an issue with self-criticism. Like, I literally have a book out there on self-criticism to help me. It's actually a parts work book that helps you to talk to your parts, so that you can learn to basically stop being so self-critical and to just accept and love yourself as you are. Not as you should be, because no one's as they should be. I love that quote. Brennan Manning. Three of Pentacles is just, it's our outcome, because it's just taking everything that we've talked about and it's making it work for us. Like, taking the revelation that we've received with the Judgment card and then putting it into like immediate action with the Knight of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, planting those seeds in our lives immediately, implementing those things. Books, podcasts. It doesn't have to be that. It could literally be like, I'm going to start going on a walk every single day at 4 p.m. when I get home from work. And I'm going to walk around the block, even if it's for 15 minutes. Oh, well, I'm working on my health. It's not about, oh, I'm fat, I need to lose weight. It's, I want to work on my health. 6th house, Virgo. It's like, I'm going to drink this nasty freaking blue spirulina drink every morning because I'm working on my health, So anyways, I love you guys. I hope this was helpful. It's been Missy Gordon, the Meta Mystic here. Even for me, sometimes I'm like, Lord, I can't do this Virgo thing today. It's too much for me. But yeah, it's if it's in the light, remember, it's always going to make you excited. It's like getting on a new workout regimen or something where you're like, yeah, this is going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. Like, this is good news. This is not being judged, right? This is to help us achieve things and succeed in our lives. So, all right, I love you guys. It's been Missy Gordon, the Meta Mystic here. Remember, you can always listen to this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. EST. And you can always watch it on my YouTube channel at The Meta Mystic, of course. If you want to book a personal, info is down below. And I want to thank everybody who donates to support the show. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one.